Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. My name is Winged Supernova. And, man. In the last episode, we saw a new side to Gregson. Gina was found in the back storeroom, locked in there with a dead Mr. Windibank. And there were two thugs, and they shot Mr. Sholmes, and there's all kinds of stuff that happened. We still don't know about it. It's going to get lost in the shuffle right now, but Susato's also supposed to go alone to visit Strongheart, or whatever his name was. Yeah. She's supposed to go visit him today in the morning, so that's going to be interesting. But, we need representation papers in order to be able to investigate the crime scene. Gina doesn't really want to give them to us, so I'm guessing we're just going to have to talk to Gregson here. Then we're going to have to go see Sholmes, and then we're probably going to have to go back to Gina. So, first off, the investigation. So, how is the investigation going, Inspector? Nothing to it, really. Very simple case, this. There's some very definitive evidence. We're just about to charge that diver we arrested last night, in fact. Gina, you're going to charge her? That's right. Should be able to bring her before the judge at the Bailey tomorrow.
Definitive evidence, you say? What is it? Come on, show me.
Your ladyship, as much as I wish I could oblige you, I'm afraid.
Ah, I see. You've already captured the pair of thugs who've broke in here last night, have you?
What the?
And you're going to put them on the stand as witnesses, are you?
How could you? How? How could you possibly know that?
I had a feeling, that's all.
Remind me never to try to keep a secret from Iris. So you've arrested the two men who shot Mr. Sholmes, have you? Well, yes. They were rounded up pretty quickly by the lads on the beat. And Miss Lestrade is being held at the prison? She should be. That's assuming she hasn't lifted the key from the jailer, of course. That's true. She probably could do that if she had the chance. Can you tell us anything about Mr. Sholmes? What's his condition? Sorry, I'm not at liberty to divulge that information. Scotland Yard matters are strictly confidential. Oh, God. Had to yawn there.
Well, I know he's being operated on at St. Sinners. Why can't I see him? I'm family, you know.
I'm terribly sorry, your ladyship. It's the hospital's policy. No visiting at all.
Oh.
The bullet must have hit an artery in his midriff. He's lost a fair bit of blood.
Oh no.
They didn't seem too bad in the first hour or so. But a hemorrhage like that is enough to make even the one and only Sholmes pipe down. Mr. Sholmes is a human like the rest of us, you know. Well, anyway, he's having emergency surgery right now. They've got to stop that bleeding.
But he will be alright, won't he? They'll be able to make him better?
Of course, your ladyship. He'll be right as rain before you know it.
Really? How do you know?
How do I know? Well, because, of course. Ah, yes, because Mr. Sholmes is such a great detective, that's why. You better pray the doctors have a better grasp of what's needed to make someone well again.
Oh dear. Please don't die, Hurley.
I'll report to your ladyship the moment I hear he's out of the operating theater. Oh boy. And I opened this can of worms. I couldn't help noticing, Inspector. What? Out with it, sunshine? Well, there seems to be a marked difference between the way that you talk to me and Iris. Watch the sauce, Sonny. I'm a copper and we don't go in for favoritism.
But he's right. You do treat us differently.
It's because of those Adventures of Sherlock Holmes stories, that's why.
Oh,
I crop up in them, don't I? Inspector Tobias Gregson.
oh, well, yes, because you're an acquaintance of Hurley's.
What did you write about the inspector, Iris?
I don't remember really.
It was one of Sholmes's lines. Gregson is the smartest of the Scotland Yarders, is how he put it.
Oh, did I write that?
And you know what that one line did for me, eh? The very next month my pay doubled. Doubled, I tell you.
Oh, that's amazing.
All because everyone at the yard reads them. They all read the Sherlock Holmes stories. They've even set up a fan club for me.
Of course, that explains everything. It was around that time that you became such a toady to me.
Can you blame me? All it'd take is one bad word from you and Sholmes could change his tune about me. Gregson? No, the great detective will say. He's getting quite overrated these days. Think what would happen to my salary if that came out in print, eh? The whole thing gives me the willies. I can't tell you how many nights of sleep I've lost to worrying about it.
But that would never happen, Gregsy.
Every month when the new Rust magazine comes out, my hands are trembling as I turn the pages. Just the fact that these stories come out each month literally just gives him fucking anxiety. That's terrible, but also hilarious. Oh, how awful for you. Here, have some of my tea to settle your nerves. She's grinning and she's like, oh, how awful for you. Glug, glug, glug. Thought it looked like his hand was vibrating there for a minute. Ah, lovely. Ta very much. That really hit the spot, your ladyship. Teetotal. Oh, yeah. There's something I was supposed to talk to you about, actually, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes? What is it? I've got an important message for you. I clean forgot about it until now. Important message? I wonder what it could be. Probably from Susato, if I had to guess. So let's see what that is. Important message. Are you going to tell me what this important message is then, Inspector? Yeah, it's about that young lady who's normally by your side. Your assistant.
Dear Susie, is she alright?
She's at the station. Oh, she's at the station, isn't she? Being questioned, I believe. Nope, not anymore. She had to head off. Head off? Where? To Lord Strongheart's office, of course. He summoned her. Ah, yes, of course. I'd forgotten about that. I didn't. One of the whipstocks took her there in a yard carriage after we'd finished questioning her. But she asked us to tell you she didn't have the fare for the return journey and to go meet her there. She's got a nerve using Scotland Yard as a bloomin' messaging service. I see. Well, thank you for passing that on, Inspector.
Why did Susie have to go see the Lord Chief Justice?
She didn't tell me. But I'd better head over to the Lord Chief Justice's office to fetch her straight away. Alright, well, our goal is set. Gotta go to the Lord Chief Justice's office. What do we got? Hopefully there's not a second murder. Yes. No matter how many times I come here, I always get the same sense of oppressiveness somehow.
Do you think the place is oppressive? I think it's normal.
How so?
I mean, look at that suit of armor over there. You can't take that seriously, can you?
Maybe it thinks the same about you. So everything is clear with regard to tomorrow's arrangements, I trust?
Yes, thank you very much.
There they are, Susato-san and Lord Strongheart.
I wonder what they're talking about. They both look very serious.
Very good. There is nothing further to discuss. You may return to your lodgings. No doubt you have much to do in preparation for your return to your homeland. Ooh. Wait, what did he just say? Your return to your homeland? Susato-san! Uh-oh. Busted! Oh, the bird's flying away. Nice touch.
Oh, Mr. Naruhodo.
What was all that about? Ah, Mr. Naruhodo. Thank you for coming to collect your colleague. And thank you for still dressing up like Charlie Brown. What's all this about? Why were you talking about Miss Susato's return to her homeland? And... tomorrow?
Secret! Yay! My favorite! Tomorrow? But what about Jenny's trial? You mean... she's been formally charged now? Oh dear.
This is not going to be a fun conversation, I don't think. Miss Susato, what's all this about?
Oh, please don't concern yourself, Mr. Naruhodo. It's only me going back to Japan. Your life here can continue just as it
That's not what I asked. What happened? Why are you leaving?
It's my father. He's fallen ill.
Oh. Okay, that's a valid reason.
Oh no!
Professor Mikotoba? I don't even remember your goddamn voice, dude. That was like 35... that was 40 parts ago, dude. I don't remember your voice. If I may. Yes, sorry? You must be the defendant. Ryunosuke Naruhodo, I believe. Yes, that's right. My name is Eugene Mikotoba. I'm a professor of forensic medicine at Yumei University. We received an international telegram from the Empire of Japan informing us of the news.
10 days ago, Father collapsed with a fever. The cause is apparently unknown. It seems he grows weaker day by day.
I don't believe it. As you are aware, the voyage from here to your country's capital, Tokyo, takes some 50 days. I thought it would be prudent to hasten Miss Susato's departure as much as possible. What if it's a lie and you're just trying to get rid of her so that I don't have an edge? Yes, absolutely.
I will leave London first thing tomorrow morning.
I can't believe this is happening.
So Gina has been charged? She'll have to appear in court?
Yes, she was formally charged a few hours ago, and the date of the trial has already been set for tomorrow.
No, not even 24 hours later?
Gina. Ah, the Lestrade girl in the murder of the Baker Street pawnbroker, yes. An all too transpicious case. The pickpocket was clearly disturbed mid-robbery and shot the man in a panic. No, the yacht is overstretched as it is, without wasting time on these open and shut cases.
It's not wasting time. Jenny would never do something like that.
Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, yes, Lord Strongheart? In deference of your fine services to date, I shall overlook this young girl's insolence. But I have no recollection of admitting a child into my office. Leave now.
Of course, Lord Strongheart.
Criminals will tell the most palpable lies in order to evade justice. The police can ill afford the time it takes to unravel all their untruths. Meanwhile, more crimes are perpetrated. We have far more serious matters with which to contend. Serious matters? Didn't Gregson mention something like that yesterday?
Yes, Inspector Gregson made a similar remark yesterday.
It's no concern of yours, though I'm sure I need not remind you of that. "3 minutes precisely until my next meeting. You must excuse me." There's just one more thing, Lord Strongheart. Which is? It's Miss Lestrade's trial. I wonder if you might permit me to defend her? A timely suggestion. Sorry? The girl currently has no representation.
But, that's not fair! Yes, she may be a pickpocket, but she still deserves a fair trial.
Do not misunderstand me, young lady. The government provides for those too poor to afford representation with a public defender. The accused need only sign the relevant paperwork, and a defense barrister will be assigned to the case. However, the young girl in question has refused that right. Why would she do that? A question you would do well to direct at Miss Lestrade. You'll find her at the local prison. Yes, thank you. Now then, it's time I was leaving. Good day to you. Goodbye, Charlie Brown. Don't miss the football. What a day. Gina charged with murder. Susato about to leave. It's kind of crazy, isn't it?
Come, Mr. Naruhodo, Iris, we must make haste. But, Susie, you're leaving for Japan tomorrow morning, aren't you? Don't you have packing and things to do? As Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant, my personal circumstances are of no consequence. My sole purpose remains to help you in whatever way I can.
Thank you, Miss Susato. It's a very pensive look.
I think we ought to visit Gina first. In any case, I should like to wish her well before I leave. Yes, that sounds like a good idea. Let's go!
If I'm honest, this has completely thrown me off. I'll just have to do what I can as a lawyer. This is quite something. It wants me to go to the prison first, I think. So I guess we'll go back to the prison, try and get Gina to listen to us, and then go check on Sholmes, and hopefully he's okay. Hey, you're back.
Ah!
Hello again, Gina. And here it comes. Why don't you have that thing loaded at all times?
What are you lot here for now?
To have the muzzle of that grenade launcher shoved in our faces again. Faces yet again, obviously.
I think I need to improve the way you load ammunition into that thing, don't I? Look! You can come here as many times as you like, but I ain't got nothing more to say to you. Gina, I wonder if you might hear me out. There's something I'd like to say.
What?
I'm sorry to say that I must reluctantly bid you farewell. Eh? Farewell? Tomorrow I must begin my journey back home, to Japan. I fear we may never meet again. Oh, right. I've had the pleasure of meeting so many lovely people here in London. I have so many wonderful memories. And yet, as things stand now, it will be a glum parting indeed. Poor Iris is so miserable. Susie. Well, that ain't my business. Both Iris and Mr. Naruhodo believe you to be innocent, Gina. They've put their faith in you. But somehow, you can't find it in your heart to put your faith in them. Yeah, that's right. I can't. What of it? grieves me greatly to have to say goodbye to my friends when they are so clearly unhappy. Because of you.
What? It's my fault?
Yes, so I have one final request, Gina, before our paths never cross again. Right here and now, I want you to show both of them that you don't deserve the faith they've invested in you.
Ooh, shit. Getting spicy over here.
Eh? Only by doing that will you truly be as alone as you claim to be.
What are you talking about? What do you expect me to do, eh?
You've told us that everyone lies. So prove it by admitting one of your own untruths. What about what you said before, Jenny? You said something about unforgivable lies. You must tell Mr. Naruhodo and Iris the truth now. That is my last request before I leave. My last request as a judicial assistant. No, I can't.
Whatever these lies are, they're obviously weighing very heavily on Gina's mind. Gina, I could be wrong, but is it something to do with what happened 2 months ago? Something about that trial? Yeah, I was thinking so too. The one in which Magnus McGilded was acquitted? I think it was.
Ah,
The case of that mysterious murder that took place inside the omnibus. You were called as a witness by the prosecution. Is that what this is about?
yeah, you're right. Because in that trial, I lied. I lied like you wouldn't believe.
Will you tell us about it now? We're getting tense in here.
Like you said, it all happened 2 months ago. The coppers got a hold of me and shoved me in the witness stand. And based on your testimony,
Mr. McGilded was declared innocent.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I lied about a whole bunch of stuff.
I knew it.
What sort of thing did you lie about? I was hiding under the seat that night. That was the truth. It was pitch black in that little cubbyhole. I couldn't see a thing, and then I heard that loud thud, like someone falling to the floor.
And that's when Mr. McGilded discovered you?
Yeah. He pulled me out from under the seat and sat me next to the dead man. There weren't much light to see by, but when I looked at me hands, I had the cove's blood all over him. I was so scared I couldn't even speak.
You had his blood on your hands? In other words, it was Gina that the witnesses on the roof deck saw through the skylight.
Then Mr. McGilded started asking you questions, I suppose. Who you were and why you were hiding under the seat. Yeah, he did. Only, that's not all.
What do you mean?
I mean, he threatened me.
Threatened you how?
He made me swear about what I'd seen and what I'd heard. And about what he was going to do after the cove was found dead. He made me swear I wouldn't tell no one about any of it. If I did that, he said he'd let me scupper before the coppers showed up.
Gina, you must tell me what he swore you to secrecy about. What you saw, what you heard, everything. Damn. Alright. Open the can of worms right now. You said Mr. McGilded made you swear not to tell anybody about what you saw, but you were in the pitch black compartment under the seat the whole time, weren't you?
Yes, with Mr. McGilded sitting above your head, if I remember correctly. Yeah, that's true, but it was when I heard the thud of the cove hitting the floor. I let out a little scream, see? Couldn't help it. McGilded heard that and dragged me out by me arm,
and that's when I saw it. It was on the floor next to the old geezer what had been stabbed. A disc, all bright and shiny. Oh, like the music discs.
A disc?
Do you mean...
Yeah, that's it. The one what the D took off me at Winterbanks.
So the music box disc was there on the floor of the omnibus?
Not for long. McGill had spotted it straight away. He picked it up smartish and stuffed it in his inside pocket.
So that disc was in the omnibus 2 months ago at the scene of Mr. Mason's murder.
And the bog trotter told me. I want to mutter a word of it to no one. Cause it was so dark under that seat in the cab, I was straining me ears the whole time. After a while, I heard the door and footsteps inside the cabin.
Presumably that was McGilded getting on board.
Nah, not only him.
Oh.
Cause I could definitely make out the footsteps of 2 people. In that case, it would seem likely that it was Mr. McGilded and the victim,
Mr. Thrice-Fired Mason.
In his testimony during the trial, McGilded claimed he slept during the carriage ride. But whenever I'm in a carriage, I'm taken with a fierce tiredness, and I always succumb to it. And your own testimony, Gina, supported his. All I could hear was the Irishman snoring. Yeah, that wasn't exactly true. Neither of them was asleep. I could hear them talking the whole time in low voices.
What? What were they talking about?
Sorry, I don't know. The sound of the horses and the wheels was too loud. But that still tells us something. Mr. McGilded and the victim knew each other.
Well, we knew that they knew each other because the victim owed him money. So Mr. McGilded was lying, as I suspected. Or at least I thought he owed him money. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe I'm not remembering correctly.
I knew it weren't going to take long before someone raised the alarm that the bloke had been killed. Yes, you were quite right. The other passengers on the roof deck noticed very quickly. So when the cab came to a stop, McGilded told me to hide back under the seat again. I climbed in and waited. The 2 coves from up top ran off to get the coppers.
Yes, Mr. Fairplay and Mr. First.
Right, and after they'd gone, McGilded asked the driver to do him a favor.
A favor?
Now then, fella, what I need you to do is take this coat of mine and deposit it with a nearby pawnbroker. And for your troubles, let's see now. I'll give you 10 guineas.
A nearby pawnbroker? You mean on Baker Street?
Yep, you got it. It was Winterbanks. McCoachy snapped up the money and ran off to pop this coat as fast as he could. So then there was no one left in the carriage. McGilded opened the box under the seat and let me get out of there, but not without conditions. I see.
And the conditions were? What were McGilded's conditions then? For letting you go free, I mean.
Not telling a soul, not for anything, about what I saw and what I heard. And there was something else as well.
There's more?
Yeah, this is the most important thing, he said.
Ooh, nice artwork.
I'm after sending the coachman on a little errand for me, with some small change in his hand. Now then, did you hear what I asked of him? Did you see anything at all? See anything at all? You asked him to go pop your weasel, right? Aye, the fiend's taken me overcoat to deposit with a pawnbroker hereabouts. And I want you, lass, to take the redemption ticket for it. Do you understand? What? You want me to have the ticket? That's right, and I'll come fetch it from you later, sometime within the next 2 months. You're to hang on to it until then, is that clear? And whatever you do, don't lose it. Alright then. And in case I might happen to be delayed at all, you're to go to the pawn shop, Windibank so it is, and you're to extend the loan afore the 2 months is up. If you forget, the article will be forfeited and any old fiend could come along and buy it. Eh? But I ain't got that kind of brass. Here's £5. That should be enough. Do we understand each other, lass? Don't try anything funny now, if you go against me. Yeah, I get it.
That's the wrong voice.
Good, and one more thing. In a few days from now, you'll be visited by the police, I've no doubt. The coppers? Aye, they'll come asking ye to take a stand in court to testify as a witness. So let's just have a wee chat about that, shall we? What is it that ye might say, and what it is that ye won't?
Ooh. He orchestrated the whole thing.
After he'd gone over it all, I piked it. Got as far away from there as I could. He hid the pawnbroker's ticket in some bushes near the scene. I went to fetch it the next day once it got dark.
So Mr. McGill had planned it and coerced Gina into giving false testimony. Sounds like quite a bit of trust if you're telling us all this.
I bet you're ready to string me up, eh? I lied in that big old courtroom. Told some corkers. The thing is, he said he would make it so we couldn't live in the East End no more. That's what he threatened me with. What a wicked man. He knew everything what went on in the back slums. He knew we had no one to look after us, and we was all just looking out for each other, getting by together. So you mean Mr. McGilded would have... in a heartbeat, he could have had the whole lot of us chased out of there if he wanted. And then where could we have gone, eh? Nowhere, that's where. So, I didn't have no choice.
Thank you, Gina, for telling us everything.
But I'm for it now, eh? Go on, admit it. You must be livid.
Well, you can make amends by doing me a simple favor.
A favor? What?
Sign the representation papers for tomorrow's trial.
Eh?
If you don't actually want me to represent you in court, you can rip it up later. But we need that paperwork or we can't investigate. The police won't let us.
Investigate what?
The scene of the incident last night. Mr. Sholmes was shot, you see.
You what? Hurley's having a big operation right now, Jenny. Is it bad? Is he gonna be alright? Sholmes is gonna be alright, right?
That's why I want to investigate. For Mr. Sholmes' sake as much as anything.
Right. So what you're saying is, if I sign that bit of paper, everyone's happy, is that it?
Something like that. Miss Susato?
Yes, of course. I have the representation papers here. I don't need no one to stick up for me, though. No lawyer or nothing. Poor Jenny. She seems so lonely.
Well, at least she signed it. Well, at least this should mean that we can investigate the scene at Windibanks now.
Yes, and perhaps we can come back to visit Jenny when we're done there?
I feel like we finally cracked Gina. She's opened up to us at last. And now I have her representation papers. No one else knows just what a responsibility that is. Anyway, for now it means Inspector Gregson can't stop us investigating at Windibanks. Although something tells me he's not going to be happy about it. Ooh, a second to be continued. And that's where we're going to end this episode, in fact. So, yay! The first part of the actual investigation is done. And then, yeah, so in the next part, we will continue in the investigation. Hopefully, Sholmes will make it out of surgery to potentially help us with a bit of comedy. And then we will see what we can discover at the crime scene. Ooh, actually getting some details on this case. So yeah, that's going to be it for now, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye.